Low-decile schools could act as food hubs for communities in need if schools have to go into lockdown to stop the spread of Covid-19. Schools are figuring out how to teach students from home if they are shut down, and that's caused some anxiety that students who rely on their schools for meals could go hungry. But the charity KidsCan says it will make sure the families who need the kai most will get it, even if closures are put in place. Our reporter Katie Doyle and cameraman Nick Monro filed this report.
The school holidays are just around the corner, but KidsCan CEO Julie Chapman says schools are already worried for what next term will bring amid Covid-19.
Many families are facing job losses. They're very worried about how children are going to still access food, and they're also telling us that they believe the need will increase significantly.
Schools in the United Kingdom have now shut due to the virus, and certain states in America are following suit. New Zealand schools remain open. However, in the event of a closure, KidsCan has a plan to ensure food and sanitary supplies remain available.
We will do everything that we can to make sure that their children don't go hungry. It's what we're set up to do. We will buy extra food if we have to, and we'd certainly love to talk to government about how we could also work together as the need increases. The key to all of this is looking at how we can use schools as a hub to distribute to their local communities. We've been looking at what organisations are doing overseas, and that seems to be a good way for families and children to continue to access items that they do need. So I think, we would still be able to supply those basics like food and sanitary items, raincoats and shoes where possible.
More than 780 schools and 55 early childcare centres rely on KidsCan for food and essentials. And there are fears the need will only grow as Covid-19 leads to job losses. One of the schools that rely on KidsCan is Mercer. Its principal, Paula Faitala, says families here are already feeling the pinch.
Families are worried about incomes, and rightfully so, because it's unknown, it's uncharted waters. The second concern is generally around, without income, how do we provide for our families? And I think that's a countrywide concern. And without a word of a lie, conversations around the panic buying. Some people can't afford to bulk buy, some live week to week, and that needs to be something that's considered.
To keep families from falling further below the poverty line, Mercer is already sending some of the food from KidsCan home with its students. And if school does have to shut, Ms Faitala says Mercer will act as a hub for essential items so families don't go without.
From my team and myself delivering it, whether we have distribution around the school so people aren't in close vicinity, if that's what is required, but we would have food here and we would allow people to access it either here or we'd take it off site for them.
There has been no announcement from the Ministry of Education about widespread closures. However, it is encouraging schools to examine their capacity for at-home learning. So for now, the students here at Mercer are still in school, eating their KidsCan baked beans and making the most of the multicoloured playground. For Checkpoint, Katie Doyle.